In relation with this, what do you think about the current? I perceive an atmosphere of pessimism among the young people regarding what it seems to be the Franco-American imposition. It isn't necessary to open the debate that the popular base can express their opinion, the roadmap to follow. Um,
Yes, exactly. I told you before that there is a pessimism, not only not only they are very uh, pessimist on that, but always that there is a state of upset, and this is can lead to another things maybe. So this is not, for example, my speech, but the speech of the declarations given by many United Nations special envoy that I have the opportunity to meet with them, Christopher Rose, Hoscola, and recently the 70 Mistura. They say always that they are for decades not resolved. The issue is very difficult and it's very dangerous. So we came in the eve of a new conflict, for example. Maybe the occupiers not knowing, for example, the consequences of any. So even Polisario, for example, that is controlling, for example, the armed struggle. But maybe the new generations, you say that they are very pessimist or they are very upset. They can use another tools, for example, for the struggles, because they say they know the Moroccans already, and they know the answers of the Moroccans. Morocco is not, for example, accepting only the language of the fire. So they say it clearly. And so this is not, for example, you are right, and you really know the situations in the ground, because you are speaking, for example, about the state of upset not only in the refugee camps for those new generations that they are born and growing up in the refugee camps, but for the people in occupied territories, and this is very, I mean, worse than even in the refugee camps, because the people in the occupied territories they experience it, you know. All came because they were in the front line with the Moroccan occupiers, and they suffered a lot, and they lived and experienced the discriminations, the the all kind of oppressions that you can imagine, for example. And those people, maybe they will use a lot of things that I could not speak on it. In 2019, when the Sahrawi young people went out on the streets, I saw myself how new generations that among them people they have been students in my class. I taught them the history and civilization in high school, and I saw mostly others that they have been, I mean, dropped from school, but they how they face the Moroccan army in the streets peacefully, so only with stones, and they defeated the Moroccans and they control all the streets in Beirut with the stones, only with the stones. Probably these new generations will have or will, for example, seek another ways for the resistance. I don't know, probably, because the situations is very difficult. According to United Nations Special Envoy, they say it, for example, in psychological, for example, analysis, maybe for people living under this kind of repression, because Morocco is always presented with kind of the democratic situation, the monarchy, with the open-minded monarchy, the monarchy that can deliver, for example, the greenwashing, everything that the European is in need now. We saw the hypocrisy of the decision makers in Western countries in whole. And you could imagine that now human rights, democracy, and it's just slogans, not more than that. We saw the European and the West hypocrisy, how they deal with this. how they ignored, for example, the Yemen and Somalia and others, while they welcoming, for example, the Ukrainian. And we saw, for example, how this is double standards, how the Spaniards they ignoring the right of the Sahrawis, even, for example, for their rights for documentation, and then while, for example, they try to strengthen the Moroccan presence in the Western Sahara. It's clear. But you're right. We're always thinking that this is the vast majority of the Sahrawis. They are all upset about the situations. Believe me, Hector, when I speak in the social media, specifically in TikTok, I face a lot of people who criticizing me, for example, and they thought that I'm one of the prominent responsible in Polisario. I'm just an activist in the Kuwait territories. I
Mhm.
have I have no responsibility. I'm not, for example, one of the leaders of the Polisario. But I try to clarify to them and to give, for example, analysis that Morocco is in a weak situation. But then they say, yes, you are right. And you have the ability, for example, to learn more and to give us, for example, a lot of information according to your analysis. But indeed, we couldn't see anything in the ground.
Mhm.
Nothing. You expect a lot of things in the few next years. For example, that Morocco will be defeated, but in the ground, we are seeing nothing. Only Morocco is controlling. Sahrawis are living in the same situations. Nothing's. Yes, we got, for example, some victories, some judicial from the court for European countries, but this is just a decisions, not interpreted in ground. We have to see some things, materials that is in the ground. So otherwise, it's just, for example, speaking up on that.
Yes, for that, for me, it's so important to ask you about if you think that after that resolution, it is necessary to open a debate for the popular base to express their opinion on the roadmap map to follow after that resolution.
You mean the roadmap taken by Polisario?
Yes, for the
Yes, yes, I'm with this. I'm with this totally. I think that I'm always saying that. So therefore, I told you that I'm with the people who are calling, for example, for the extraordinary Congress in order to to re-elect people that they will be able to for the new battle against the Moroccans and their allies, of course.
Mhm.
So we should, for example, go to this extraordinary uh, uh, Congress, and we should always also read roadmap in all levels, including in the occupied territories,
Mhm.
including occupied territories. But all the people should be aware about the consequences of everything that we'll take in here, for example. So likewise, for example, with the fronts, the armed front, for example, or the social, the diplomatic, the judicial, so we should control this. So I'm with that opinion, of course. Sure.
Mhm.